Welcome to ZKast, everyone. I'm ZS Caravallo from ZK Research, and I'm here at CCW 24 in Las Vegas. I'm at the 8x8 booth. I'm with Justin Robbins from 8x8. Justin, how you doing?
Doing great. It's good to have you stop by. How's the event been for you?
Well, it's been pretty good. It's lots of AI, obviously.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of activity here. There's a lot of people here this year.
Yeah, it's been very good. I was saying to some of the organizers here, it feels like just larger than past years. Very engaged group of people. It's a good year here.
Yeah, and I think one of the things the attendees like about the show is, unlike some other shows, there's a lot of actual users here, buyers of the technology, that want to interact with other people. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And themes from the show, obviously AI is the big one.
Yeah.
I'm curious, you've been offering AI for a while. What are customers telling you with AI? Do they love it? Do they want more of it? Are they kicking the tires? Where are your customers in that AI journey?
Yeah, so it's interesting, and I'm actually going to think about a conversation I just had with a head of customer experience for a very large organization, and he said, AI is causing all of the best problems inside of their organization right now. And here's what he meant by that. He's like, the first problem they've got, regardless of what type of AI it is, they have to decide what they would actually do with it. What's the impact that it would have? He said, you've got all these forced cross-functional conversations on how do we decide what to do with AI. Then there's the data piece of, okay, well, what information is going to be required of it? Then how do we design it, actually deliver it into production, and then learn from it and iterate it? So what I'm really hearing from organizations is to do AI to the highest level of its capability, it's forcing organizations to work together and to be intentional about designing service in ways they haven't before. So it's good. I think a lot of people are seeing potential, but also recognizing there's very hard work that needs to be done right now to really see the potentials maximized.
Yeah, and are they, one of the things I've noticed from all the customers I've talked to is there's a lot of interest right now anyways in using it as an internal tool, helping my agents be smarter, helping get faster answers, but a little bit of fear making a customer facing. Are you seeing the same thing?
Yeah, I do, and I think there's two things. One, there's if we think about what that does in terms of span of control, right? We've even seen, if you think about websites or forums or social media, right? All of these places where consumers can get access to information and very quickly it can become inaccurate, it can become exaggerated, right? So I think there's concern about kind of a compounding effect of just like bad information getting out that then makes it just worse for the businesses. But if you think about what you can do when you focus on making employees have faster access to information, being able to streamline the way that they work and how they navigate systems or work through processes, I mean, the benefits there, I think, are going to be, easier to control and design. We know the variables more as leaders of organizations, but also then, if you do that, the impact to service delivery and customer satisfaction and all those things, right, I think will start to take care of itself.
Yeah, and one of the interesting debates in the industry is whether AI will take jobs or not, or will it create more. And I have yet to talk to a contact center manager that actually said they're looking to reduce headcount. I think the bigger challenge seems to be they can't hire enough people.
Yeah, so this is a really great point. So in my experience, especially outside of technology companies, even just working with and in contact centers, most organizations are understaffed, right? There's a bandwidth, there's a capacity issue, and as we add more channels, there's just more work is getting created. So that to me is actually, I think the nearer term impact is organizations are actually going to have a more accurate and kind of closer ability to handle their workload that they're getting. And then, over time we'll evolve roles. I think we're going to see that more than it's going to be a matter of kind of ripping and replacing all the humans out of service. Like, I just don't see that reality playing out anytime soon.
And I also think that there's this fallacy that people never want to talk to a bot or whatever. I think about other transitions like this we've been through where when we first came out with ATM cards, right? People said, no one's ever going to put a card in a wall and take money out. They're always going to want to go to the bank. Well, today you wouldn't think of dealing with a bank without the digital tools there, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a blend of both, obviously.
Sure.
But I do think the AI becomes a really important part of how we transact customer experience because it will allow us to do things that are better.
Yeah, and I think there's like a couple things in my observation. One is just because people want to use something doesn't mean it's necessarily right for any given situation, right? So I think having a good understanding of that. But the other piece, I think we have to, it's this fine balance in my experience of I look at chat as an example. I know that like chat bots, I think it's something last time I did a study on it, it was, over 80% of people would happily use a chatbot for most situations, but the majority of people, their most recent chatbot interaction was awful.
Yes.
Right, so it's like people want to use it, but if it's bad, then they have a reticence and like they're reluctant to use it. But if we don't start experimenting, if we're not willing to fail fast as organizations, right, where do we hit that path? So I think it's going to be mixed, like you said, and I think organizations have to have just like smart experiments with how they deploy these when they are customer facing.
Yeah, and so let's talk about your booth here.
Yeah.
Pretty nice looking booth. You got
Thank
lots
you.
of demo station. What's been popular with people coming by?
Yeah, so a couple things that we've been focused on here, and first is this idea of like everything that we're doing at 8x8 right now is how do we intentionally engineer success for our customers? So one of the ways we were like, how do we start with that is like, first we want to celebrate our customers. So I know you had an opportunity to chat with Deborah Smith, but we also have Trek and Ty of Beanie Baby. So it's like, we wanted to make sure that everything we were doing to get people to hear and like, come check things out, we're all aligned with our customers. As people are looking at demos and having conversations, I'd say the big three are this. Number one is people are asking a lot about what's happening with intelligent customer assistant and agent assist. So to your point, automation that's customer facing and employee facing. We've had a number of conversations about our ecosystem and how do we integrate, because organizations are saying, hey, we can't have just one tool. So who and how do you work together with people for us to design these service experiences? And the third thing that, we always get a lot of feedback on is the workspaces that we have available. So if you think about how our agents or supervisors are interacting, a lot of interest, a lot of questions about what's the art of the possible there.
Yeah, okay, and I'll wrap on that then. I got one last question then. When you talk about art of the possible, what's coming for 8x8? What are some of the things you're thinking about to really change the game, and what is your art of the possible?
Yeah, so Zeus, if I think about the fact that the lip service around the importance of customer experience has never been greater. The technology and what it's capable of has never been greater. And yet, if you look at consumer indexes, if you look at all satisfaction studies, like most experiences are still bad. Why is that? It's because the customer experience, if we think of that as the sum of all interactions someone has with a brand, is not just about the contact center. It's about what you have in a conversation with finance or internal conversations, right? All of these often disparate systems or departments compound into a problem. Like this is why we all have bad experiences. And what we're looking at is all of the customer interaction data that happens across an organization, from the contact center to field services, finance to otherwise. How do we make sure that we enable organizations to understand and interpret and act on it in meaningful ways? That's where we're focused. We know that for organizations to best serve their customers, they have to come together in a way they never have before.
Yeah, that's an interesting change, because as to your point, we've talked about customer experience, but the way we interact with customers is so siloed that even though you have good tools, if you're not managing that data, cohesively, different departments are going to have different views of what the customer wants, and that's where a lot of the frustration comes from.
Absolutely, those are the breakdowns. It's those little things that just over time erode all of our trust in the businesses that we are customers of.
I think that's why I like 8x8's XCAS vision so much, because it does bring back office and front office together, and it lets people move seamlessly through their different coworkers instead of having to always put people on hold and reach out to somebody. It's just, and we get that very disjointed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so, all right, Justin, anything else you want to add?
No, it was great chatting with you today.
Yeah, great. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
On behalf of Justin Robbins from 8x8, I'm Zeus Caravallo from ZK Regions, and thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on my next episode of ZKast.